Oh my goodness, did y'all watch the frickin' Lakers game? LeBron! Lebruntus Leconkis. Lebruntus Leconkis. Lebruntus Jampus. Druput. Dotikit Pontus. And Quaticus. Rubbit. And Puticus Ek. Lebruntus Jampus. Lebruntus Jampus. Like Lebruntus Jampus is a punkita punkita. Lebrunkitong Spinkitink. Lebruntus Conkus. Lebruntus Conkus. Lebruntus. Oh shit, dude. I should have. Why did I up B there? I did not mean to up B. Yeah! Oh, come on. How'd you block? Oh. Damn. I was going crazy. Anyways, LeBron James just dropped the craziest stat line I've ever seen. Lebruntus Leconkis just dropped 50,000 points in 20 seconds. I don't know if you guys watched that game. That was insane. He beat them so badly. And you know what? LeBron James Jr. just got 100% from the field goal and an alley-oop from his father. That has to be one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in my life. He hits a 3 with an amazing screen by his papa. And he hits the craziest game-tying 3 to send it to overtime. It's like, dang. No! It's not LeBron's fault. Anyways, yeah, man, like, dude, LeBron is him. We need to stop the allegations. And what I mean by allegations, I'm not talking David, I'm talking about the GOAT allegations. Is he the GOAT? I think he might be. Just the sheep. But let's think about it for a second, okay? Because I believe that the Toronto Raptors are a part of, are part of the reason for this. Because if you didn't know, 2 days ago, I made a video about the Toronto Raptors with Scotty B as the thumbnail, you know? And they won. I was saying they're gonna win that game here in Toronto, and they did. And then guess who wins the next game? You know who plays next after them? That's right, OKC Thunder. And then who plays after them? The Spurs. But who wins in the Spurs game? That's right, Netanyahu's son himself, Denny Advinkankasis. And Denny was arguably one of the best players to improve this year, and he almost won the award of most improved player. But that went to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I don't know if you guys knew that, but they're actually cousins. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker is doing absolutely dog water in these playoffs, but the Atlanta Hawks are now actually 2-1 in the series against the Knicks. And I love the Knicks. I'm a big Knicks fan, you know? The Knicks. And Cat is just not being zesty enough. Jalen Brownson is not being he's not JBing enough. And Mikal Bridges is just being Mikal Bridges, okay? And it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart to see the Knicks go through this after being so close to, you know, they were doing so well last year. I don't even know how that hit the Robin. And, you know, it was just crazy because what is going on here? You know, because they did so much to get that 6th seed position, right? I meant to say, you know, go up against the 6th seed, but I don't even think that's correct. But they tried so hard to get to wherever they got to. And where did that end up them? Where did they end up in? Losing to Atlanta Hawks once again to CJ McCollum. And I like CJ. I like CJ. He's a nice guy. But you know, he's a little old. You know, and there's nothing wrong with being old. LeBron doing it at 41. But how are they losing to CJ? CJ is, you know, I remember him and Dame, you know, the duo. But now it's just it's who? It's CJ McCollum and like Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels and Nikhil Alexander-Walker and Kuminga and who else is on that team? Like I'm trying to remember, and they're losing to that. They're losing to the best Atlanta. Like, how did the Atlanta Hawks get better after losing Trae Young? It makes no sense. Anyways, it's been just a wild roller coaster for the playoffs. And back to Lebruntus Jampus. Okay, LBJ, you know, might be in the sheep considerations now. Just after his performance was just incredible. He hits the overtime shot, and then after that, you know, they win the game against a Rockets team with no KD, and the Rockets are on absolute fraud watch for their terrible performance. You know, like I don't understand really, but maybe, you know what, the KD files might have been right, and we just need to accept that. And at the end of the day, you know, they weren't gonna beat prime LeBron. You know, LeBron just turned into 2018 LeBron for no reason. But he really wants that win, you know. He really wants to win with his son, you know. Imagine that, his son, first ever. Has that ever happened, actually? I don't know. I'm making up stat lines. Has that ever happened? First father-son duo to win an NBA championship. We need that to happen. And I know everyone's saying, oh, they're not going to beat OKC. No, man. They're not, probably. But there's always a chance that, you know, LeBron carries them again. And Bronny, actually, no, here's what's going to happen. Bronny is going to become the SGA Slayer, okay? But I don't think anyone believes me. And I just got spiked. He will become the SGA Slayer. Oh, and I just watched the Magic destroy the Detroit Pistons, and it was so funny because they were down 17 points. The Detroit Pistons were down 17 points, and they brought it back in the fourth quarter. Near like the mid-fourth quarter, I was watching the entire game, and it was just like I was going crazy because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're coming back. And then they just fumble the bag. I don't know what happened. They were just they're making nothing. Like, they went on a nice run. But then, you know, Franz Wagner started showing up. He hit the three, hit a nice mid-range J, and then freaking Paulo Banchero hits this freaking three that bounces up in the air, Kawhi style. But it doesn't like bounce multiple times. It just bounces up in the air really high, and it goes in to really seal the deal. You know? And I was like, damn, bro. Like, what's going on here? You know, the Detroit Pistons supposed to be #1. They're losing to 8th seed Magic, who almost didn't make it because they lost horribly in the play-in. But then they brought it back against the Hornets. And it's just like, what is going on here? Like, this is not the Magic team that I was watching, like, literally like 2 weeks ago, even a week ago, I don't know. They're destroying Detroit and everything, and I don't understand why. Desmond Bane is going crazy. He went freaking like 5 for 5 in threes for like the first half or whatever. I don't even know. And it's like Desmond Bane, the T-Rex, is cooking y'all. I mean, to be fair though, I'm not saying this like because like the Pistons really, I don't understand who in the Pistons was really doing it for them besides Cade. But you know, Jalen Duren has not been showing up. Like Tobias Harris, he's been playing all right actually. He played all right this game. Who else? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how's Cade been doing it. First seed. And now they're losing to 8th seed, you know, Magic, who arguably is actually like a pretty decent team. It's just that Paulo hasn't really been showing up, but he's been showing up this play. He almost got a triple-double this game. And it's like, damn, this is a completely new team, it feels like. And I love Paulo. Paulo been my favorite, like, first pick. Like, honestly, I liked him better than Cade. And it's because I'm a big fan of like the Duke first overall picks, you know, Kyrie, Tatum, Zion, but they've all been kind of like, you know, I think ever since Kyrie, they've all been kind of mid. But Paulo was like the first one I really enjoyed. I loved his purple Grimace suit. He looked like Muck from Pokemon with that suit on. And it was just, you know, I liked it when he got, not traded, picked. And I love that Duke team as well. I think that was Coach K's last team. And I just got destroyed by this Robin. And it was just so great. So great to see him get picked. And I love Orlando. Lebruntus Jampus. Orlando McCunkin. Shout out Paulo Banchero. He's been playing well.